Hello, sport fan. This is Steven here with Sports Choice Plus. I'm bringing you a very special breakdown. I'm going to be covering the Cincinnati Bengals maybe making a move. Before I get right into that, I want to make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel so you can get all the updates and all the breakdowns. Without further ado, let's get right into it. Looking at the Cincinnati Bengals and how they lost in disappointing fashion to the Kansas City Chiefs on the doorstep of yet another Super Bowl. And you're thinking, to yourself, what can the Cincinnati Bengals do to get better? Essentially, we saw a regression step of Joe Mixon, and you're seeing exactly how he's having off the field issues. You're seeing that cap number at $12 million. You're seeing so many different things, and you just have to evaluate yourself and think, okay, this team is a cheap team. I'm just going to be honest with you. The Cincinnati Bengals are cheap. They have to come up and pay Joe Burrow. They're going to have to essentially pay quite a few people. You got the wide receiving core. You got to pay literally with T. Higgins. And you got to think, it's just a lot of people. You got to think they have to pay two wide receivers. They have to pay a quarterback. They have to pay a lot of people in Cincy. And you got to think, for what Mixon is giving them, you got to ask yourself, can they give themselves something else? Can anybody else on that team do the same thing Joe Mixon is doing? And with the NFL draft being what it is and players being what they are, you got to think they just drafted Chase Brown in the 5th round, who's a pretty good product. So you got to think, it's not hard to play the running back position in the NFL. Most running backs now can catch. Most running back can come out the backfield and catch. They can run between the tackles. They have scat back abilities to be able to get in and out of holes. They have speedsters. They have a number of different things. So the running back position is not a hard position to learn. Or if you're proven talent, it's not a lot. I mean, if you got Joe Burrow as your quarterback, you're not going to have 8 in the box all the time. So you got to think about this. Jamar Chase, from a standpoint, is on one side. T. Higgins on another side. That's 2 big contracts you have to pay. You have to pay Joe Burrow, and you got to think about this. You have to still improve your offensive line. You still have to improve your defense. So it's a lot of money that's going to be floating throughout the Cincinnati Bengals organization, and you just ask yourself, Mixon had a regression step because his play wasn't the same last year. You look at the plays that he made last year. Yes, he made plays here and there, but essentially him not making the plays in the AFC Championship game is a part of what cost them. You got to think about this with the off the field issues and the circus that comes with that. I'm not even talking about the situation with the women. I'm talking about the situation with shooting people or brandishing a firearm. From the standpoint of, okay, is this become too much for the Cincinnati Bengals to keep? So you also got to think now, is Mixon, you got to project yourself. He's got a lot of tread on the tires already. They've already paid him somewhat already. So you got to think, are you going to get more production or are you going to get less production as he gets older? Mixon doesn't strike me as a guy that's going to get stronger as he gets as the years go on. It's rare that running backs get better as they get older at this point in time. Look at Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry is a rarefied heir to somebody that they got their money and they're still balling like they're top tier, MVP status kind of running backs. You see the likes of Todd Gurley after he get paid with the knee injury with the degenerative knees. You see Zeke fall out of favor in Dallas. You see Saquon having problems of trying to get paid in New York. So it's a lot of things, and it may be a cap casualty. I know that the NFL draft, they were looking for a number of things on the Bengals. I like their draft the Bengals had. Several playmakers were taken. I don't know if there are going to be any first-day starters or anything like that, but you got to keep in mind, they got a couple of playmakers. But you got to think, if you have the opportunity to cut a little bit of cap and you can keep the dead money and fluctuate that dead money somewhere else to pay Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase and company, the T. Higgins, I would say you don't really need a top-name running back to be behind Joe Burrow. If I'm being honest with you. And the Bengals are a cheap organization. That goes back to when they had Carson Palmer, TJ Houshmandzadeh, and also Chad Johnson or Ocho Cinco, depending on what preference you want. So they have some soul searching to do. They have to think about this because this could be a pivotal move that helps their franchise or hurts their franchise. But I think the clock is starting to tick. So the Bengals see everything around them improving. You see Aaron Rodgers now with the Jets. You see the improvements that are made that the Justin Herbert and the Chargers made when they drafted those young assets and wide receivers. You see everybody in an arms race to get better. You see what the Bills did with the tight end. You gotta. It's an arms race at this point. You got to worry about the Miami Dolphins as well. You got a number of teams in the AFC that you got to worry about. So it's the cream of the crop, premium players only. If you're getting paid a premium number, you need to premium produce. And I don't think the Bengals are going to keep Mixon for too much longer. Are you Bengals fans? Get in the comment section. Definitely check out Sports Choice Plus. Are you NFL fans as well? Get in there as well. Definitely check us out, and we'll see you on the very next video.